I had a question about one of the
Well, I make a
parts of
motion,
the
we
charter
amend it.
that
at 4:35 on July 26, 2022. All commissioners are present, along with Charles Webb, our city manager, and Bobby Pickens, our city attorney. And you want to go ahead and stand?
Father, once again, we thank you for loving kindness and mercy. Continue to watch over the community and continue to bless our community, each commissioner and their family. We ask this in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm gonna start off before we get into this and go ahead and announce, next week, of course, is our qualifying week. The deadline is next Friday at noon, which is August 5th, at noon. Charles Overturf, has a convenience that he will be here in these chambers Wednesday, the 3rd, from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, for anybody that needs to begin the process or to finalize the process of getting their paperwork completed. So we'll be sending an email out. Karen, I'll get it with you. We'll send an email out to let everyone know, and we'll post it everywhere we can. If you know of anybody that's interested, please, by all means, reach out to them. Also, he said if there's anybody that needs an evening time to please let us know, and he would try to accommodate that as well. So, with that. That was. So with that, let's go ahead and we're gonna start with the second reading of ordinance 2022-18.
An ordinance of the city of Crescent City, Florida, calling for submission for a vote to the citizens of the city of Crescent City, 5 proposed charter changes to the city charter, setting forth the wording of each question for the ballot, providing a date for the submission of said questions to the voters, providing that the charter will remain unchanged except to the extent necessary to incorporate those changes approved by the voters, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
You don't have anything to say? Keep in mind, this is the second reading of this ordinance. This is what will be given to supervisor elections, and it will be on a ballot. They're giving, each item that we're requesting is individualized, so that they can vote on, the public can vote on them individually.
And Mayor, we did make those little changes you all approved, where we put, for instance, put / city manager after each time it referenced administrative supervisor,
Okay.
and then added, effective date would be upon certification of the ballots, as provided by law.
Okay. Okay. Commissioners, do I have,
I make a motion,
okay, I have a
I
motion.
make a motion to accept the final reading, ordinance 2022-18.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Commissioners, do we have any discussion? Commissioner DeVito, did you have a question?
I do, I have a couple of questions. So, Charles, if you could say again exactly what the change is, where it says city manager / 2013.
Well, wherever, for instance, on question number 2, let's see where it says administrative supervisor, we added / city manager. In the event there was no confusion, if people voted yes for the first one to change the name to city manager, it would be any confusion on why the rest of it said administrative supervisor. That was a requested change by the mayor last meeting.
We discussed that at the last meeting. We also had the one where it said, that it's effective upon, certification.
Right, I remember that.
Just anywhere it said administrative supervisor, we put / city manager, just to avoid any confusion.
So you're saying in addition to question one, you.
It's in
put the-
question
The
two.
alternative in question two. Okay, that's what you're saying. Then question number 5. The language there, to me, is confusing. It seems to be adding something. Says in the second sentence, all other expenditures shall be authorized and directed to the city commission only upon contract to a responsible bidder.
That's the existing language in the charter. Just put the whole paragraph in there. In other words, anything over $5,000, we would have to get bids and bring those to you for approval.
Okay, so this isn't just about the flexibility for the city manager, it's actually bumping up to when we need to get bids.
Well, currently, my inflexibility is anything over $1,000, I'm supposed to bring you bids to choose from. This just raises that number to 5,000. The process will be the same. Anything over 5,000, I would bring you at least 2 bids and ask for approval.
And again, keep in mind, we're not approving this, we're going to let the public approve this.
Oh, I know that.
Okay.
So, and then finally, I've never been clear on this, so please go over it with me again. So it's my understanding that after first reading, we can't make changes, but we have made changes.
No, as part of first reading, you made changes and then you approved
Okay,
with those changes.
so these are all changes made at first reading,
Yes.
not somewhere in between. Okay. All right. Those are my questions. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner, you have any other questions?
Yeah, I just have one question, on question 2. It basically says, shall the charter, well, anyway, you're no longer the clerk, you can hire a clerk. The city manager is no longer a clerk. We already have an assistant clerk. Will that assistant clerk just be bumped up to clerk, or are you actually gonna go out and hire a new clerk? Just boom, okay. I just want, in my mind, see if that's okay. All right, I'm good.
Commissioner Banks?
I'm good.
Commissioner West?
Hold on a minute. Look at question 3. I don't want to change it. I just want to be aware, we had a city manager that had an agenda. Mr. Banks will remember this. I'm trying to put it nicely. He was just firing anybody that said, let's don't do that, or I don't think you're a right family, you're going. Is there any way we can leave this like it is, but if they want to contest it in any way, then you sit down with the head of the department and maybe the mayor and the vice mayor and be able to discuss the problem if they're objecting to it.
I think you can, there's nothing stopping them from appealing, coming to the next commission meeting and appealing directly to you. And then the city manager works for you. So, you get direction to reconsider the case, and let's have an investigation or whatever, then the city manager would need to comply with that. So it's kind of a, I think it's built in, given that the city manager works for the commission, you can provide direction to the city manager to reconsider or to bring forth more information.
Can you add that into, not in the charter, but can that be in our, HR personnel,
Could be in our policies
in
and
our policy and
procedures.
procedures? We can add that.
Mayor, I have a question on that. So Commissioner West was suggesting that if there's an issue with the department head, that the vice mayor and the mayor and the city manager would meet with the person?
Well, we can't do that, that would,
Well, that's kind of what I'm asking.
Yeah.
What would be put into our policies then?
I think that would need to be advertised
Yeah.
and voted on and all of that stuff. I don't think that's not just a decision that you think. Like if they wanted to put something in the HR manual, we would advertise that the public could come and talk about it and vote on it at that time.
Yeah, we would publicly update our policy manual, include that change.
And it would probably be that maybe, of course, the city attorney, Charles.
It may be something.
I would assume, I don't know off the top of my head,
Yeah,
but if there's not something in there, then we probably need to have something in there. So I would assume there has to be some recourse for if you're fired, if you want that reconsidered.
Always.
And that should be in there for any employee, so therefore, you know, the department head is still an employee. So, you know, any employee can, you know,
so Bobby, would you and Charles work on that, to make
Yes.
sure that that's secure?
Cause I don't know whether they would want to air that out
yeah, we don't, I don't think we do.
for the general public.
Yeah.
If I'd have been working, when I was working across all night, at that 5, you want to air that all over for life, I'd have been very disturbed. Not interfering.
Yeah, uncomfortable.
Because
It doesn't belong in a public.
I agree.
Do you think if they put that in the employee manual, how would you feel with that?
That would be fun, and Mr. Banks will remember this person, fired
Oh, Lord.
great people, and just, you know, he was,
on how
oh my gosh, and just, you know, people that work here for years, good employees. Occasionally we end up with someone rotten like that. We did get rid of him eventually when we found out what was going on, but their lives are messed up then.
Well.
Mayor, before we close, I want to share something, but not until people are done with questions on that.
Is it regarding this?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
But I want to wait till everybody gets the question.
Anybody else have any more questions? Okay, Commissioner DeVito?
Sure, thank you so much. I thought about these charter amendments long and hard. I think that each topic is worthy of consideration. But the more I think about it, the more I think that a month and a half is not really enough time, that we don't understand or don't have sufficient background on ins and outs of the implications of this and how other people handle them. That's the part, I just don't feel like I know enough about it, and I'm very aware of the fact that, at least for constitutional amendments, once you put a question like this on the ballot, people usually vote yes, unless it's something having to do with biohazards or something like that. So I don't feel like I know enough about it. I don't feel like we know enough about it. Some of the things, like question number 1, obviously, that just brings the verbiage more up to date. We're not gonna sink or swim without it. For question number 2, many cities our size just have one position for the city manager and the clerk. And in some cities, when there is the clerk, because it's an office, I mentioned this when I first looked at it, it's created separately in the charter, and the city commission either hires the clerk or has approval over the hiring of the clerk, the way that we have so far with our department heads. And it is true that the role of the city clerk is very important and that there is training that goes with it. But we are still a small city, so there are many different ways to do this, and I don't feel comfortable that we know enough about what the norm is, what the best way is. And then the question number 3, the department heads, so that the commission would no longer be involved either in the appointment or the removal. That is a significant change in the authority and information. I would be more comfortable with firing since there's an appeal, but I'm not so sure that I'm comfortable with taking away the authority of the commission to approve the department heads. And I must say, I do think that Charles has done a great job with personnel so far. So that's my main reservation about that it's a significant diminution. The charter and qualifying issue, that would be a nice one to change, but since they're all blocked together, we've done okay without it before that. And then, question number 5, I think, is the one that concerns me the most. Bumping up that competitive bidding amount to $5,000. There have been instances in the past, just in the time I've been on the commission, where, I don't know, I think that the Crescent City Commission, a lot of times information has not been brought to us. That's just something that happened over the years, maybe because people were very comfortable with Patrick or whatever. In some ways, we're not a very well-informed commission. And I think that keeping the bidding amount at $1,000 makes sure that items are brought to us and that we have more information about what's going on. And one of the examples that came to mind was when Mr. Esposito was here as our interim manager. He actually chose a company to do the city website and signed a contract with them for 3 years and did not bring it to us until it was brought to his attention that that's actually something he was supposed to do. So, I don't know, I feel like I'm sharing this with you because I just want you to know my thoughts. And there are just things, I think this could use more time to percolate. Although they're all good issues, and I really appreciate Charles identifying them and bringing them up to us. I find it's very beneficial.
Okay,
So,
thank you. Thank you for
And I have one more concern.
yes, ma'am.
We hired Charles to be our city manager. He's doing a very good job. He needs an updated toolbox. And basically, this is what these are. It will update his toolbox to do even a better job. And therefore, I think we should just kind of get on with it and vote.
And again, I'm gonna remind everyone that we are not approving these. We're approving this to go on the ballot for the citizens to decide in November. So I'm gonna say that once again. So do we have any other comments from any other commissioners? I will open it up for public comment just in case anybody in the audience has anything.
Tracy Eckhart, 109 North Prospect Street. I have full confidence that the city manager that you have chosen can do the job. And in this day and age, $1,000 of expenditure privilege is not enough. I also have the confidence that the public can read these and figure it out. As a matter of fact, I feel I'm not happy that a commissioner thinks that as a member of the public, I can't understand the questions on the ballot. It's every individual's responsibility to be able to do that, that's a registered voter, and be able to understand it. And it's not for any one of you to try to dictate what somebody else understands. I don't feel like I have a comprehension problem. I'm not necessarily sure about every single person that's up here, but I know the majority of you have good comprehension, and I feel I do too. I think these are very good things to take to the electors, and I strongly urge you as the only person that bothered to come to the meeting, that you go forward with the second reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your input. Okay, commissioners, if we have no other comment, we have a motion and we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.
no,
Okay. Ordinance passes. Okay, Bobby, do you want to, number 3?
Yes, Mayor. Currently, the charter reads, and this is what, or essentially why Commissioner DeVito there. Let me try to get the charter. All right, so currently, you have to do all of the either pay the fee or get the signatures. Everybody, I mean, that's obvious, everybody understands that. But then there's file a sworn qualification statement, which will state the following: the name and occupation of the candidate qualifying for a place on the election ballot and address, that he or she is a candidate for either the mayor or one of the commissioners, and the group number, and that you will serve if you're elected. So it's my understanding in the past that nobody had, and correct me if I'm wrong, but nobody's really filed that document. Is that true? Has anybody ever filed a document that said where you live, a separate document other than what you have to file with the state, where you live, what your occupation is, what you're running for, and if you'll serve if you're elected?
I think you check what seat you,
There's,
yeah,
From the county, or the state document. or whatever.
yeah.
So that would be my thing, is that, the commission would just vote to accept the document that has already been done, has been done in the past as that qualification statement, and move on and let, Supervisor of Elections Charles Overturf handle that with the documentation that he already is going to have everybody fill out for qualification.
so what we're doing then is all of our paperwork would be consistent with what everybody in the county does.
Yes, and I, talking to him, I believe 90% or all of that information is already on a document that you have to fill out with the state of Florida.
I don't think, I don't know if I ever done that or not, or I don't remember doing it. But then again, we weren't part of, Putnam County's. We weren't
They
doing
had
it
their
through
own,
Putnam
they had
County.
their own, I mean, she had there were several forms that you had to, you had to
So it
sign.
wasn't,
So, I mean, I personally think that if we hand it over to the supervisor of elections,
right.
then again, we have to also, give him that authority to work under his,
Use his form.
use his forms and his guidance.
Yeah, except that as long as it has that information, which my understanding is that it would have that information, it just wouldn't be a separate document that would need to be filed by everybody,
It would be on that DS.
Yeah.
Okay.
or, yeah, wherever they already have.
I think that's what you're trying to do, you're trying to get all the uniform, all over the whole time. Not this one going that way, and that one going the other way, but get everybody on the same page, using the same forms and everything. A lot more easier for him and his organization.
Well, and it's safer too,
Yeah.
because if we have an additional step for some reason, if they overlook that additional step, that can create some issues for us as well. So, I think to keep it uniform with everybody in the county, that would be my recommendation. So, Commissioner, do we have any other comments? Commissioner, do we have?
Question. So don't we still have on file the paperwork that Deb used?
Yeah, where's that box, Karen? Is it,
It's still in my office.
okay, I'll look at it.
Sure, it's all right, and you have it?
No, sir.
When I spoke to Charles earlier, he had told me that everything on that paper was in their packet already. And he just needed a nay or yay if he wanted a separate document. So it's,
So what is he expecting from us today as a commission to approve?
Just
So in
vote to
other words-
approve
yeah,
the form that they'll already fill out, or if not, then whoever's running will just have to come in and fill out another piece of paper that has their name, address, job, and then if they win, they'll serve.
But we'd like you to make a motion to accept the, utilize this.
That would be my recommendation as well.
And we can do that without any notice, or, we had a discussion about this. It's on, it wasn't on the original agenda, that's okay, we can do that.
I grabbed it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do anybody else's.
Yeah, I think it was put out last Friday.
The
the revised agenda was put out last Friday.
So,
It was sent
we
through
had
email and on the web,
the,
put on the webpage.
the statement of financial interest that we had to do, and that is, where you had to list your, we had a website. The candidate oath. and that's the DSDE 302NP.
Can I see, can you pass that on? Probably familiar. So what is it?
I think this is what, you're talking about, is the City of Crescent City election qualification statement.
Yeah, then if it's been done, yeah.
And that's where, and it's basically, you know, your name, your occupation, and, that you've lived here 6 months or greater, and that you're a candidate for which office.
Okay, so we do go with that.
Seems that way.
Cause we got his stamp on it.
Yeah, that's Deb stamp.
Or that their stamp.
That's Deb. So it's an internal document, it looks like, that we have here. Do you want to see it, Bobby?
No, I think then that makes it even easier, we'll just make him aware that we have that document. I thought that it was not being done in the past, but we can just make him aware that we have that, and it can be done during qualifying. I think that's just as easy.
And just
For
like,
me, to make sure that 4 people submitted and get that.
and they won't do that until they're, it looks to me like that was signed, at the very end.
And
because-
that's one of the things that has to be done that week and that weekend.
Yeah,
So I think we're good, so scratch that.
so we're good.
So do we need to recreate that form? Karen, you,
I'm trying to see if I actually have that form. Wait, no.
Actually, while we're talking about elections, I have 2 things to bring up before we finish, after we finish with the forms that are directly about election.
If not, I mean, it's not a county, it's not a numbered form, it's not one of his forms. It's obviously something internally that they created, that the city created.
I'll just have to take that one and recreate it because I can't find it right now.
Mayor, but there's just follow-up, my concern about that was is that that's actually in our charter. And it's got, that's one of the, that's actually, what is on that form is, includes, the qualification that's important to, that's particular to our city, which is you've been a resident for 6 months, sorry. And I don't know, other jurisdictions may be different, so we would have to follow that, Charles would have to make sure that he followed that. So we are, just to make sure, we are going to put on our website or send out information that the seats that are.
Yes, it'll go out tomorrow.
Okay, because Vermont Park's had it out for a while.
I think.
Yeah.
We advertised that a long time ago, didn't we?
On our
Like, in
website?
general, we're talking about advertising the need for this form.
Well, no, she
No,
was
the
saying,
election.
no, we sent that, I would say at least a month ago, in the paper it was advertised.
Oh, yes.
And he
We
met with,
got, yeah, Mr. Oberser sent me something and said that it needed to be advertised. I would say it might have been late May, early June when it went out in the paper.
Okay, so we sent that, but it has not yet been on our website, but it is going to go on our website. Okay, so that's good. And then, so Mr. Overturf is gonna have all the forms that.
yeah, and he met with Pomona last week, I believe. So he did all of Pomona's last week.
Sounds good.
Okay, do we have anything else? Were we supposed to set any dates today? Is that something that,
I think you said set the workshop for the special events ordinance.
yes?
Or special meeting rather, so you can vote on it.
I thought I didn't get any email asking us, proposing any dates. Did y'all send anything out? And I just didn't.
No.
Well, I brought my calendar. I don't know if anybody else brought their calendar for us to look at some dates. The 9th, I know we've got our commission meeting is on the 9th, so that week, you're traveling, correct? Commissioner DeVito, you're gonna be down in Hollywood that week? After the
Florida
commission
League,
meeting?
that week, yeah.
Florida League.
Right, Florida League and stuff.
Okay. So we go into the following week, which is the 15th through the 19th. I believe right now, as it currently sits, the school board is looking to do a kind of a informational meeting in the auditorium on the 18th that evening regarding the school plan.
Hope City.
Yes, sir. So that would not work.
We have a planning and zoning.
On the 18th.
Okay, but I guess it's okay.
Oh, no, that's not good.
Is that gonna, the school board gonna be down, the auditorium down there on the 18th,
Yes, sir.
what time?
I don't know, I believe 6 o'clock. Ashley's supposed to get us the information on it. She's been working back and forth with the Historic Society on it. And I know that they've reached out to several groups of people, and then we, of course, as soon as she gets it to us, we'll put it out on our website and
And we
email.
supposed to have a meeting here too?
Well, the planning and zoning commissioner Burton
Planning
pointed
and
out.
zoning.
that-
Okay,
No, not us.
okay.
Right, but that is.
We will be in the audience that day. We can be in the audience. So we've got that week. Does anybody have any availability that week, anytime, either the 16th or the 17th?
I could do either of those days as far as I'm
Commissioner Burton,
Michelle, the 16th and what?
or the 17th?
Yeah, I can do it one.
Commissioner Banks?
It's long way on the Wednesday.
Okay, so we do it on the 16th. Let's look at the 16th, August 16th.
Wednesday is the 17th.
Okay, well, 16th.
Okay. What time do we want to do it on the 16th? We want to do it at 5 o'clock, 5:30?
That works for me.
Which one?
5 o'clock.
Let's do 5 o'clock.
Commissioner Banks, Wednesday is church day.
Mhm.
Yes.
Midweek church day.
Okay, and this will be a special meeting, it's not a workshop.
What time did you say?
5 o'clock?
Oh.
And then a special meeting?
Yeah, so you can vote.
Special meeting.
Well, in that case, should we do 5:30, just to make it more accessible?
Whatever y'all want to do, 5:30, we can do it 5:30.
If it's something we can vote on, maybe somebody.
5:30?
Nah,
Make it
nah,
5:30, so let's do it 5:30. We also, while we were doing this, I thought we had, noise. Were we doing anything with the noise?
I don't think we're doing anything for noise, I think that.
We decided we liked ours better.
Yeah, and so there's no change. There's no reason to even discuss
Okay,
it.
I guess I put down, I thought we were gonna do, I'd made some notations that we were gonna try to see a way that we could, make it a little stronger.
I think the consensus was,
Okay.
ours was fine.
Well, I'll do my notes,
Mayor, could I just respond to that?
yes.
I also thought that we had discussed about how, to me, I thought enforcement was the issue. And that we, I think we wanted to see if we could improve the enforceability, that's my memory of it.
How?
And, in any way, shape, or form. But if we're not ready to do that, I mean, do we, I don't know, that's a special meeting, would we want to allow time for some discussion of the noise ordinance? Would we have any updated information? Yes,
We could do, I mean, we could at that meeting also, if that would be okay. I mean, I think that's the big thing, is we still have an issue, there's still an issue with it. I just was on the phone for quite a while, just a moment ago. There's still an issue with the noise, and so we've got to, while we said ours is stronger and we felt like we liked our ordinance better, it still doesn't give us the teeth that we need to try to, stop those that are being abusive of it. And that was in my notes, that was my question, and that's why I thought we were gonna look at what we can do from an enforcement standpoint to make it stronger.
Well, we got to consider sheriff's office, and which one we trying to stand still or to move?
I think stand still.
Stand still.
We don't have any control.
And the noise at the houses, where, you know, everybody in the neighbor's house is shaking as well.
I don't know whether we can get it, but I think Jackson, listening to the news, it got the idea of standing still.
Okay.
It got the idea. I don't know whether we can call up and give them the shoot a copy of Send a copy.
We can reach out to them.
I think so, people had the place tight, they would, so it had some teeth in it.
Okay, right. And I think that's it, it has some teeth in it. As a matter of fact, I got a phone call, Pearson's looking at it tonight. One of their councilmen called me today too, and they're having some major issues with noise. And again, don't have the teeth and trying to figure out what they can do to curtail some of this.
I think without the sheriff here to talk to, it's a wasted meeting. So I really think if you wanna have a meeting on noise,
Oh, we're not having a meeting now anymore.
no, but I'm just saying,
Oh,
it
yeah.
sounds like you want to have a meeting and discuss noise and how to make it better or whatever. It might have to be workshopped with the sheriff,
Yeah.
not us discussing it. We could discuss it all day. But they need to tell us
How are
how
you carry
they
it out?
can do it.
And that's the issue, is enforcement.
How they can put the
We
teeth
like
into it.
ours, but we just need to.
Understand if it makes sense.
Well, the challenge with ours, the first step is to record the sound, and they're not doing that. They need to,
And
Do it
just
20
wanna
minutes.
Wait or some foolishness. I
so
don't
you
know.
can't cite anybody when you don't have the device with you to record. So my understanding, Captain Usry, was that they were gonna be more proactive with the device and not announce their presence, get a reading, and then they have the option of citing somebody, they've got evidence. But we can put it on the 9th, the agenda for the 9th, if you want, just put it on the agenda.
But you know, but you know, years of Credit City commissions have tussled with that. Commissioner always get, we tried hardly to do it to try to come up with something. But it just, we went, to our representatives. And tried to ask them, try to get them to help. And we still wasn't successful on getting something with some teeth in it.
Well, and that's something that maybe when we look at, when we talk to them, if they do get a citation, what we want to charge for that citation. To make it to where they, get around and they don't wanna pay that. I know, Bobby, we talked about, what do you do with that citation if they come their nose at us and say they don't wanna pay it? So we'll have to talk about that too, what options we have, if we put a lien on the property, on what we can do with that.
Well, my suggestion would be on the 9th, if I can just report on my findings, I can meet with Alex Sharp. So we can talk about it, and then I can come back and say, this is information we found out, and then y'all can say, this is the information we still want to know, and then we can set a meeting at that point. So then we'll have all of the information with the questions that we can answer when we have a meeting, instead of just going straight to the meeting and then having to go back and find answers. But I think that would be the best.
Okay.
So just report on the 9th, and then any other questions or concerns that y'all have, you can direct them to us at that point, and then we can get the answers to those questions for whenever we have a meeting.
And if we decide, we can piggyback it on the next special meeting that we have, if we decide that that's something that we need to talk about, that we need to do. Okay, sounds good. Is everybody in agreement?
Yep.
Yes.
So there's a
Do
plan.
we have anything else?
Yes, this Friday, please have your,
Oh, that's right.
reviews and reviews into the mayor by this Friday, so compile that for the next meeting for the
I got something to say about that.
Yes, just-
We have,
All that book, personally, I'm just gonna put a check on the important things that I think for the city of Crescent City. Not the president of the United States.
That's fine,
Okay, that's fine.
That's okay.
that's fine.
All right.
Commissioner DeVito?
Yeah, I do have one thing that crossed my mind, that Commissioner Banks reminded me of it. We have the noise at homes and buildings, and then we have the noise issue in the parks. And as we all know, the legislature amended the state law that requires the sheriff. So, and personally, from my observation, I think that the noise from cars is dramatically reduced since that law was passed and the sheriff did the publicity. So for the next meeting, it's not really something we should vote on now. I would like to suggest that we think about writing to our state representatives and telling them, thank you, for passing that and letting them know that it has made an impact in our community. you know, because we ask them for a lot of things. And I think when they do something that helps our small community, maybe the feedback would be good. So if we can't vote on that, but.
Discussion. Do we have anything else? Everybody good? Okay, with that, we're going to adjourn the special meeting at 5:15. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, everyone. And Karen, thank you for my jacket.
Oh, you're welcome.
I hate to ask for it, can you find it? Was it in the chair? On the
Yeah.
floor?
Yeah, when